Hey guys, how you doing? Coach Mitch here. So let's talk about the pain points of your CBP structured interview. So first things first, people always ask me, they're going to ask me about my college, right? Like where I went to college because I went to a really great college. Nope, not going to ask you. They don't care. Well, they have my application in front of them, right? They're going to read it and see what I'm all about, right? Nope, they don't care. They won't have it in front of them at all. No one gives a darn about stuff like that. I say this many times. I'm going to say it again. Do not come there to the interview with a civilian mindset because it's not a civilian job, right? It is a paramilitary level, federal level, LEO position. Everything you learned in the past about interviews, forget about it. It doesn't apply here at all. This is where 60% of you get tripped up at, where you get hammered on because you don't understand what you're walking into. This is why the fail rate is so high for the SI. So here we go. There's 5 pain points I want you guys to understand about the structured interview. And the first one's going to be your judgment and decision making. They're going to ask you questions specifically designed to see how you do with judgment and decision making, because judgment and decision making is a daily part of your task, and they don't want to have to hold your hand to make sure you're doing your job right. The first 6 months, fine. You're with an FTO, he or she will train you, FTO, field training officer. They're going to train you how to do your job. But after that, your supervisor is depending upon you to make smart, calculated, good judgment and decision-making skills. Understand? Answers. Take care of issues on your own. Of course, if you need backup, that's fine. But if one soup has 30 employees, they cannot cover 30 employees. So it's imperative upon you to understand that a lot of your job is going to cover your own judgment and decision-making. Therefore, this kind of scenario will show itself in your questions at the interview panel. Number 2, of course, is integrity. They are going to intentionally ask you a few questions regarding your integrity. At least it will be an integrity fuse type situation. Now, you might think, oh, they'll ask me if I'm honest. No, they're not going to ask you like that. They're going to ask you in certain situations to see what your answer is, right? That's the important part. They're not going to say, hey, are you an honest person? Are you truthful? It comes out in the process of your behaviors, of your actions, of what you consider your responsibility. That's how they judge you on the integrity. Now, already I gave you 2 things, right? Judgment and decision making and integrity. Never covered in civilian interview. Civilian interview, have a seat, have some coffee, how's your ride in, how's the weather? What school did you go to? What was your GPA? What's your strength and weakness? No one gives a damn about that here, this panel here. They don't care about none of that stuff, okay? Number 3 is communication. So this is imperative because a lot of people tell me this when they don't pass the first time. They tell me this. 30% of my business is what I call my returns. People who do the interview on their own the first time, before seeing me, they fail. They come to see me the second time. I call those people my returns. They're great people. They just didn't prepare the right way, okay? So communications here, a lot of people who don't know what do, they ramble. And this body of people watching you is 2 or 3 professionals who are in complete uniform. They're working for many years. You're not going to fool them with your rambling. It's always the rambling that gets you. Rambling means what? You're not prepared for this paramilitary law enforcement at the federal level type interview. Obviously, otherwise you wouldn't ramble. With rambling too, I see a lot of people, they're freezing. Now, in my program, we get passive freezing. I'll show you how to do that. Freezing is just having competence and control over the answers. How to get there? Through repetition, of course. And how to get there? Through coaching. Many different questions come your way from my coaching program. I'll show you how to answer them perfectly. That's what I do. That's what I've been doing for like a long time. I have the receipts, 90.4% success rate times 6 years. So if you're interested at all, get into my coaching program down below. Get into my calendar and book a meeting for you with me. We will get down to it and get you past this phase. Number 5 is stress tolerance. Yes. Stress tolerance is purposely put in there to see how thick your skin is, because Not everybody from the civilian world can work in this paramilitary position because some people don't have thick skin. You have travelers coming in there with maybe some attitude or whatever you got to deal with. And yes, you got to deal with it because you are the professional. They are not. They have some basic standards of behavior, but you have a very high level of standards of behavior. This will show in the interview panel just how high your standards really are. Big one here, a lot of you guys don't bring it into the actual because you're not being coached at all, right? And it's situational awareness. So many people in this life just kind of walk around, don't look around, not aware of anything, right? And that's fine if it's you in your life. However, in the coaching, I teach you how we have to be situationally aware of certain situations because the questions are designed to come at you to see if you do indeed have situational awareness. What do you see? How do you answer it? And what happens after you answer it? And we go from there. But situational awareness is a heavy part of the whole interview program. I don't care if it's FBI, CBP, BP, whatever it is, it's going to be part of the package. Last one's interpersonal skills, right? Law enforcement is going through this, what I call a rewrite, a rephase almost, right? Because you see on YouTube, you see a lot of people in uniform, and what they're doing first, they are acting before they're thinking, acting from emotions, not thinking, lack of stoicism in their behavior, meaning that you have to think before you act, right? Especially if you wear the badge. So the interpersonal skills are so important in this whole in the whole process. You have to have those interpersonal skills. And so they're going to ask you questions like that bring out that skill set or do not bring out that skill set within you. Those are the 5 pain points, you guys. And so you can see, I'd say time and time and time again, this is not a civilian type interview. Take away all those civilian mindsets you have and throw that crap away. You're not going to smile your way through this. You're not going to ha-ha your way through it. You're not going to say, gee, that's a good question, your way through it. They already know they're good questions. That's why they're asking you, right? If you guys are serious about your career, you want to get past the SI, you want to join my 90.4% success rate, link down below, get into my coaching program, get into my calendar, and we can do this, okay? Take care. Bye-bye.